It's another glorious day in London. I don't know what we did to deserve this. It's a little hazy over the city of London, but I am on my way once again to the bike shed. I was derailed yesterday, running into a new friend and heading over to the Rebel Alliance, which was a pleasant little stop. I was really impressed with that place, mostly because there was an air of style to it, but not the pretense that I would have unfairly assigned them. The fabricator, who has a nice big shop in the back, had more than enough time to chat with us, talk about his projects, and just and refer us to other places that we might be interested in, and that was refreshing. But I'm on my way over to the bike shed, and in my previous video, in my failed attempt to get there, I was saying how I have reserved judgment from the place because I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's got a very high profile, but I'm not really sure what they are beyond, I don't know, a marketing exercise for motorcycles. They call themselves a motorcycle club, and that has kind of a romantic feel to it, kind of a nostalgia to it. And everyone kind of thinks about one day they want to be a part of a motorcycle club or a motorcycle gang or something, but maybe not a gang, but I think they're definitely taking advantage of the nostalgia element, and I'm hoping it's a little more than kind of a cafe or a restaurant and a gift shop, because I'd hate to think that that's what motorcycle destinations have become, just kind of a reduction of commerce. I was saying in my previous video that I admire the new kind of lead that they've taken in advocacy for politics surrounding motorcycles in London. And if that's the kind of direction or one of the elements of the mission statement of the bike shed, then I can get on board with that. That's something I can be supportive of, and I could even be a member because of that. I've gone to a number of these We Ride London and mag rides, and I think it's important that we put a collective voice around motorcycling, and a positive collective voice. I've been involved in a couple of the DGR rides over the years, and I've opted not to go anymore to the London one because it's almost like a fashion show of sorts, and that's kind of put me off. And again, I said it in my ACE video, I go to these events and I try to find that community that's promised in the lore of social history around motorcycling, and I always feel kind of marginalized on the outside despite my best efforts. And the DGR has become this, at least in London, has become this fashion show which I'd always lose. And when you look at the bikes, it's really a clinic on what not to do to your motorcycle. You see all these kind of ideas when you're surfing the web at night, and you go, oh, that's cool, I'm going to buy that. And you find the part and you put it on your bike. And then when you go to something like the DGR, you see that, one, everyone has done it, and two, it looks kind of stupid in the light of day. Again, I'm reserving judgment, but it sounds like my reservation of judgment has a lot of baggage attached to it, which I can't really escape, I guess. I guess that's the border crossing. If there was kind of papers needed to enter East London, I think that roundabout back there, I don't know, what is that, Old Street? I think that might be the border crossing, because there's definitely a change in the atmosphere and the attitude. All right, I'm trying a different way to get into the bike shed because I made some wrong turns yesterday, and hopefully I can find it a little better than yesterday. But you know, looking at any of these places could be the bike shed. I'm hoping it stands out a little bit. One, so I can find it, but two, so it's not just kind of slotted in with these black fronted bars. There's a train bridge. There it is, bike shed. All right. I chose wisely. Now there's a rumor that there's free parking, so let's see if I can go into the, there it is, bike shed. Is there parking in here? There we go. That was pretty neat, a little promenade. Oh, they've changed this into parking. Okay. There's Daryl from The Walking Dead. I always wondered. I saw pictures online of this empty space. There's a motorcycle museum that's losing its lease on the council-owned property, and I was thinking that, looking at the pictures online before I got down here, it looked like this would be the perfect space to save the museum, but I guess it's being used for parking. All that outside seating would be good for motorcycle parking. I guess you sell less lattes if you do that. The parking area occupies 1/4 of the bike shed's entire footprint. The open-air seating area is pleasant enough, but was very odd to ride my bike through it to the parking area. I had the sense that I was not meant to be doing that and I was doing something wrong. The exposed materials and polished surfaces drips with the uber-trendy post-industrial architecture and interior design that draws hipsters, creatives, and fashionistas. A shelving unit of bell and head-in helmets that could cover the cost of a new bike could also easily cover the dental reconstruction costs if you crash wearing one of these fancy things. It's no surprise that another 1/4 of the bike shed is designated to retail sales. Clothes, hey, there's a motorcycle. A mesh and foam trucker's hat for 25 quid. I don't know a single trucker who would drop 25 quid on a mesh and foam cap. 65-pound tool roll was enticing until I realized that it was without any tools. If you want the tools, it's another 65 pounds. The leather one was proportionately more. A nice little enamel mug, 10 pounds. No thanks. Surely a bike shed mesh and foam hat will be less expensive. Let's see. 25 quid. I guess that's the going rate for mesh and foam these days. 30 and 35-pound t-shirts. More helmets. Hey, a motorcycle. More helmets in this display. In pride of place, it seems. At least these have chin guards. This seems to be the motocross or scrambler section. Some more t-shirts there, goggles. Hey, ride it like you built it. Okay, I guess the old built not bought motto is inappropriate now that y'all can afford new bikes. Von Leadfoot, he did some pinstriping for me in the past, but told me he had left the trade. I guess it's on to t-shirt design along with 90% of graphic design graduates. Oops, a remnant piece of art from the made not bought days. I guess these leather chairs is the club section. What motorcycle club would be complete without plush leather chairs? Oh, and for that matter, what motorcycle club would be that complete without a barber shop? Okay. Ooh, pricey. Cash only. Why? The shop takes cards, the retail space takes cards. Why cash only for an overpriced grooming salon? Hey, a motorcycle. That's a nice motorcycle. Let's see. 9,000 pounds. Yeesh. I guess you can't buy that stuff in that container there. Let's head over to that other arch that we walked by when we came through the club section. Hey, a motorcycle. More motorcycles. This space seems like a wasted space. I recognize the space from their YouTube videos. It also seems to house their Club Moto experiment, where they offer trendy bikes to rent at very high daily rates to, quote, avoid the hassles of ownership and pay for their ownership, I suppose. Hey, motorcycles. The artwork is... oh, take it back. Jesus with an open-faced helmet and an iron cross on a gold field. How irreverent. Now, that's pretty. It's interesting how the bikes are more interesting than the artwork that's hung above them. I do regard motorcycles as pieces of art, and I do appreciate good fine art as well, but the attempts at fine art in the bike shed so far have been detracting from the atmosphere and the motorcycles, in my opinion. Restaurant, coffee shop, and retail. Just what I expected, I suppose. It's a very handsome space, but it has a very corporate feel to it. It has all the trappings of the trendy post-industrial restaurant that you find in New York or Los Angeles. indirect lighting with exposed ductwork. Let's eat. If we take a look at the menu, we get an idea of what's being served. The standard bacon and egg sandwich, which is distinctly different than the bike shed bacon and egg sandwich. Shed-built chips. Prices are competitive. And I almost thought I got out of here without the requisite bike club bar, but here it is. Back out to the patio. There's some people on laptops, drinking lattes, a couple of motorcycle helmets. But generally, I think these people are walk-ins from the neighborhood. There's a motorcycle helmet. I haven't seen a lot of bikes coming in so far. Oh, there's a bike. I have a feeling that that is the wife of the owner. Oh, and that might be the owner himself. I don't know if owner's the right term in a bike club. I'm not sure. Riding right through like I did. I guess I was right in doing it. Pretty subtle from the outside, which I appreciate. These, whoever they are, they're a bit too cool for school for my liking. And I guess they don't have to park in the parking area with the rest of the rabble. I get a sense here that I'm paying for someone else's lifestyle when I am a patron here. Time to go. There you go, Bike Shed London. Would it be odd to say that the bike shed turned out to be exactly what I expected? However, I'm not as disappointed in it as I thought I'd be. It's definitely slick, and it has a very pay-to-play feel to it. It does not feel welcoming. I don't know if it doesn't feel welcoming. There's definitely something welcoming in the nostalgia. They got all the patina, but I don't know if I feel welcome. And maybe that's just my own hang-ups, because, you know, the people were very friendly. There was a huge staff there. There must have been at least 25 or 30 people milling around doing stuff. It's a little more than a bar. It definitely has its gift shop, though. It's a restaurant and a gift shop. I mean, it's definitely cool. I'd say it's cool. And I don't know if it's cool because it has all the trappings of what's cool, or if it's really cool. I don't know if it's authentically cool, or I think it's definitely done with a nod to authenticity, but I can't really see it as authentic. It's a bit of I don't know if it feels like a bit of an outsider's interpretation of cool, or a cool by committee. I feel like it's cool, but I don't know if I think it's cool because I'm buying into it. Am I buying into the marketing exercise, or is it cool? That kind of billowed, bannered American flag on the barbershop. I mean, the barbershop. 50 quid for a cut and a beard trim, cash only. It looks like a barbershop that I would go to growing up, but I paid $5 for a haircut. 10 times the amount. I think if we talk about authenticity, we can look at the difference between the Bike Shed and the Ace Cafe. The Ace Cafe has a feeling of kind of underselling itself. It's a bit undersold. It's just kind of an empty space, but perhaps what fills the space is the atmosphere of the people who attend. And the Bike Shed is more about the kind of manufactured atmosphere. It's definitely considered. It's interior design. I feel like I want to go back. The food was competitively priced for East London, but like even the items on the menu, it was shed-made barbecue sauce. What the hell is that? Shed-made barbecue sauce. I mean, come on. If the Ace Cafe is authenticity, and I was underwhelmed by the Ace Cafe, maybe I'm overwhelmed by the Bike Shed. Maybe we have to find something in between. Something that's authentic but not Disneyland biker. 9,000 quid for that Triumph. Jesus. Yeah, it's definitely a pay-to-play exercise, and I don't know if it's I never liked the idea that motorcycling was a rich man's endeavor. Hey, look at these 2 minis. 3 minis, 4 minis, 5 minis. That was cool. Like I was saying, the whole pay-to-play exercise for motorcycling, motorcycling as a rich man's endeavor. I'm not happy with that.
If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.